importance of a photograph to me is the memories that it brings back and trying to recall the context of that photo. And it's very important to remember the things in our lives that are meaningful to us, and that's why we take the photograph to start with. I was the first woman on the Charles County Sheriff's Department, hired in 1974, 50 years ago. So it was frightening in that nobody really knew how it was going to work out, especially me. But I wanted to be given the chance. And the chance was to prove myself and to prove to others that I could do the job and that other women could do the job. There was one person who wasn't really happy about having a woman on the force. So when I started and I knew what room he was in, I would go outside and come in another door just so I wouldn't meet him. It was obvious that he didn't really feel like a woman could do the job and wasn't capable of it, or for whatever reason, he just didn't want a woman. That man was Robert J. Mudd, and he was kind of a legend. So, long story short, in 1981, we were married. It took a while, but at first, he was coming around more like he wanted to protect me. And I finally told him, if I'm going to do this job, you can't be there protecting me. I have to do it on my own. If I can't do it, I shouldn't be here. And he respected that. And then he just tried to teach me. And he took me driving, and he took me on the back roads, and he was going 110 miles an hour. And he said, "Could you do that?" And I said, "I don't think so." He said, "You're gonna learn." And he taught me how to take curves and how to do things so that I could do my job properly. And he taught me other things. He was strong, and he expected me to be strong. He expected me to be independent and to stand up for myself and to get a reputation like he had. And once people knew that reputation, that helped when you went into a situation. I'll tell you a story about some other pictures. This picture was when I was first hired, when they didn't really know what to do with a woman. So the first summer I worked undercover, and this was a raid we did in Colonial Beach, Virginia, and they heard that there were illegal slot machines. So that was the raid. We were supposed to go in and find out if there were slot machines. And they had me go in first because that was the way we could get into the room, like I was going to go in and play the slots. So I entered and they barged in behind me, and then the raid went from there. So they took a picture of me with a slot machine. So I worked undercover that whole summer, and then at the end of the summer we had to clean up all those cases because I had to go to the academy. The next picture is my wonderful husband. There's a picture of him with the others that were hired, and his number was 18, and on the left is Buddy Garner, and Buddy is the sheriff that hired both of us. It was a big deal for him to hire a woman because he called me in and he said, "Now what should you wear?" And I said, "Well, the military, I know they have skirts for dress occasions, and that would be nice, but I need to be just like the men. I need to wear whatever the men wear." So that's what I did. Except I did have dress shoes. And when I was in the academy, I had those dress shoes on. And one night on the way home from the academy at 4:30, we got a call to go to Nanjamoy to search for a lost 2-year-old. And I had my uniform and dress shoes on. And all night we walked through the woods hunting for that child. And they let us leave a little early because at 6 o'clock we had to go back to the academy. So back we went. And my feet were all torn up because I was wearing those shoes. And I said, I'm getting boots. And I never wore anything but boots. And that leads into this story. We had a farm. We never did just police work. My stepson was in the Marine Corps. He was stationed at 29 Palms in California. He and his buddies went to Huntington Beach for a weekend. He dove into a wave and it snapped his neck. I was working and I got the call. My husband told me what happened. That was 11 o'clock. At 3 o'clock, we were on a plane to California. While we were gone, it was the end of August. Our tobacco crop needed to be cut. If we lost our crop, that was a lot of money for a small farmer. And to show the camaraderie and the love and the fellowship and the extended family, when we got back, the officers and some of the secretaries, some of their friends, they had our crop in the barn when we got back. Every time I see it, brings tears to my eyes to think, well, it was the loss because, as it turns out, my stepson passed away. But at the time, we didn't know that. And so it was just tremendous to see our fellow officers, our friends, doing this service for us to help us out. And that's what law enforcement is about, helping others. You're not just there for yourself. You're there for the other officers, and you're there for the community. Service means you have to do for others even before your own, and protecting other people and caring about other people. That's important. I started our retired association, and I was the president from 2004 when I started it to 2007, and now I'm the vice president. But it keeps us all together because we still are there to back up the officers that are on duty every day and to help them in any way that we can. So you never retire. You just change your way of serving.